Hi, my name is Valerie Anderson. I'm the Director of Communications and Programming for the Florida Native Plant Society. The Florida Native Plant Society, which we often shorten to FNPS, has held weekly lunch and learns for its members since late April because our local chapters have been unable to safely hold meetings due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This Friday, I'll be teaching you the basics of GIS and giving an overview of the historical data sources applicable to Florida. The title of the lunch and learn this Friday, October 9th, is DIY Historical Ecology, Part 1, Data Availability and Intro to GIS. Historical ecology is a loosely defined discipline that attempts to understand the long-term relationship between people and their environment. My research, and this Lunch and Learn series, focuses on landscape ecology with a conservation flavor. Historical ecological research has been published in a broad array of academic disciplines, not just ecology, conservation, or restoration, including history, geography, and anthropology. Historical ecology is currently functioning as an umbrella term covering research into our environmental history. The clarity of purpose that this field has, coupled with its interdisciplinarity, are fascinating to me. GIS is short for Geographic Information Systems. It's a catch-all for computer programs that handle any kind of spatial data. That's spatial, S-P-A-T-I-A-L, not special. As we GIS folks like to say, spatial is special. Spatial, according to Merriam-Webster, is relating to, occupying, or having the character of space, sometimes coupled with the beginning geo, so geospatial. To me, they're materially the same, but common vernacular in GIS world, say geospatial and spatial are used interchangeably. A GIS is a program that can handle spatial data, usually in a variety of formats. The program might be able to just show you the data, think Google Maps, although there is quite a bit of interaction in Google Maps, or you might be able to create, edit, visualize, and publish that data. The most basic form of spatial data is a point you might take with your cell phone, a lat-long point. You can take a point using Google Maps, you can take it using OpenStreetMap Android, Osmant, my favorite software, Gaia GPS. You can also do that. Or if you have Avenza Maps or something else you can use with GeoPDFs, that can also take points and sometimes lines and polygons, which are more complicated forms of geographical data. Why am I talking about a GIS at all? Well, we have to use a GIS of some form in historical ecology because we have all of this data that has some sort of spatial component. You cannot look back at a piece of property and look back at its history over a long period of time and define change over time and look at how the ecosystems may have changed without documenting those changes on some sort of map. And GIS is basically a very complicated map that you have a lot of control over. So the point of this Lunch and Learn is to teach you control over your geospatial data that you're going to create because you care about this conservation area or this certain plant or this certain ecosystem so much. My favorite GIS program is QGIS. It was originally called Quantum GIS, but in 2013, the Open Source Geospatial Foundation shortened it to QGIS for clarity. ArcGIS is QGIS's main commercial competitor. Google Earth Pro is also a GIS, although with some limitations on its tools. QGIS is free to download and is open source, which means you can examine its source code. So not only is there no monetary cost, the source code is free to distribute as long as you distribute it along the same terms. The same terms of use, the same license. Think copyright. It is not copyrighted. QGIS also has good documentation, which you can find and read at qgis.org, an excellent plugin library, a bunch of mailing lists, and a robust user community that is willing to answer your questions on Stack Exchange. I'll discuss Stack Exchange more in our Lunch and Learn. For this and the following Lunch and Learns in this DIY Historical Ecology series, we'll be using QGIS. Please go ahead and download QGIS, and these 2 videos that pop up will guide you through it.